So hello guys, in today's video I'll be giving out one of my best counter trend setup, and believe you me, you don't want to miss this, so be sure to stick till the end. And so without further ado, let's get right into the video. Okay, so we can clearly see on this chart that we are in an uptrend, clearly signified by this breakout structure. So the reason as to why I'm calling that a breakout structure is because you can clearly see price has taken out the inducement exactly right there, and as well additional sell side liquidity. So we can clearly see price on this retracement, it headed lower as well and took out additional sell side liquidity before that ultimate reversal, all the way breaking past this, past that high. And of course, we all know once such a pattern is formed, then that is of course a break of structure, a bullish break of structure. This here was the low the retracement achieved, and that makes the trading range low. Okay, so our trading range of course starts from this low all the way to that high currently, and of course we know the next step after the break of structure is usually marking the inducement. Okay, so we can clearly see the high is that one. So the inducement, of course, it is the recently formed valid pullback, and it's that one there. So that makes our inducement. And of course, if I am to mark the POIs here, we can clearly see, starting with the order flow, this here will make the extreme order flow. Actually, it's valid because it's yet mitigated. And of course, the order flow that comes after it is mitigated, so meaning it's invalid. And so I'll be shifting to the other order flow, of which it is also invalid as it's mitigated. You can clearly see that. So that makes it invalid. And of course, the next order flow is this one. Actually, it's the decision order flow, as it is the opposing move right before the buying displacement that caused the break of structure. So we can confidently say that that makes our valid decision order flow in that case. If I am to mark the engineering liquidity pretty quick, we can clearly see that this here will make the engineering liquidity. And yeah, maybe I mark the order blocks. Of course, now it will be easier because we have already marked the valid order flows. So the order block, the valid order block, of course, we have the decisional valid order block right there. And as well, the extreme, it will obviously be this candle here. So that will make our extreme bullish order block. All the other order blocks apart from the two, they are either SMTs or weak order blocks. So we have the first SMT exactly here. So this one here makes the smart money trap or the inducement trap, because it was created before the inducement, and as well the order flow associated with it is not to be considered valid, but just a weak reaction zone. So you can call that a weak order flow. And as well, we can clearly see another order block down below here. So this order block is just a weak order block, nothing much. Okay, so we have marked all the order flows and order blocks. So now if I shift to the lower time frame here, maybe the 4-hour, we can clearly see exactly right here. So let me zoom to where price is currently. We can clearly see things here clearly. So okay, that is of course our inducement, our higher time frame inducement. This one here is the high, and of course we can clearly see the pattern. We all know this pattern. So price takes out the inducement. So right now I'll be changing the color. So price takes out the inducement, and of course after that it reverses back and makes a break past this high. So once that happens, we know that makes a break of structure. We can clearly see that this one here is the inducement, major inducement in that case, and price has already taken that out. And yeah, if I am to mark the POIs, we can clearly see the extreme order flow, of which it is already mitigated, so meaning it's invalid. So I'll just use the color we usually know, and the one following it is this one, and in this case it's not mitigated, so meaning it's valid. So exactly right there, we have our valid order flow. So meaning our valid order block will be that one there, and in this case, extreme order block. So you can clearly see our smart money trap on the higher time frame turns out to be a lower time frame zone. So this makes the extreme bullish order block. And of course, down below here, this order block here will make us the origin order block. So exactly right there. And of course, right here, we can clearly see the reaction, but not strong enough to for an entry. As well, I usually like entering based on the second leg, so I'll just continue running price, and you can clearly see price failed the extreme order block. Okay, so price has mitigated the origin order block. You can clearly see that, and price has already made the first leg. So if price makes a break past this area, past this high, then we can take the entry all the way towards this external liquidity. So, okay, let's see if I continue running price here, what price will do. Okay, exactly right there, you can clearly see price made a break, and of course the entry in this case will be exactly right there. Stop loss on the first leg, being conservative, being aggressive, I will place it on the low of the second leg. And of course, I'll be targeting the external liquidity. So this is actually a low probability setup, actually one of my low probability setup, but it's actually a valid one. So you may consider taking such kind of entries when you have a profit buffer on your prop farm or your brokerage account, whatever. So if I continue running price here, you can clearly see our buy limit order exactly right here. It was it was activated, and price, you can clearly see, is heading onto our favor, and hopefully price makes it. Okay, so you can clearly see price made it to the to the external liquidity. This is a 3.8, such a nice trade. But remember, this is a low probability pro trend setup, so you may consider taking this while having a profit buffer. Okay, anyway, so let's get back to the to the higher time frame. And by now you obviously know that this here is no longer our inducement, but our inducement has now shifted. Our higher time frame inducement has now shifted to, so has now shifted to that area. Yeah, so now becomes our higher, it becomes our higher time frame inducement. And if I get back to the higher time frame, that is, we can clearly see exactly right there, that was a valid pullback indeed. So let me get rid of all these lower time frame marking, and yeah, we can clearly see, of course, that's our inducement. Our POIs remain the same. This here is no longer our high, and so our high becomes this one here. Okay, so this here becomes our high. Okay, if I continue running price here, you can clearly see price is heading lower. Okay, so price has taken out the inducement exactly right there, and this is when now we get to the lower time frame, of course. So getting back to the lower time frame again, price has already taken out the inducement. We can clearly see this. So where is our high again? We can clearly see this here is our high. So take note of that. That's our high, and price has taken out the inducement. So the recently formed valid pullback, or the inducement pullback high, is that one, and price has already made a break past that. So this is, of course, the change of character. And if I continue running price here, so let me make this fast. Okay, so we can clearly see that okay, so price is heading lower. This here is, of course, the high, and price has already taken out the inducement somewhere there. This here is, of course, the engineering liquidity. So that's the engineering liquidity. And of course, if I drag the fib, we can clearly see that the engineering liquidity is below the 50%, so meaning discount. And of course, we can actually take that trade. Okay, so if I continue running price, of course, and so exactly right there, we can clearly see price has taken out the engineering liquidity. And of course, we can clearly see that this here was the second leg. So I will take my entry exactly right here. And of course, my stop loss below the first leg being conservative, being aggressive, I'll place it below the second leg, and of course I will be targeting that high. And if I continue running price, you can clearly see price triggered exactly right there, my buy limit order. And of course, continuing running price, you can clearly see exactly right there, price made it to the external high. So there we have our break of structure, and of course our second leg. So we have the first leg, now the second leg, and so we can continue running. We can continue buying all the way towards this higher time frame external liquidity. We all know about this. This is actually the pro trend way of doing things. So this here is no longer valid again. And of course, you can clearly see on our current dealing range, price has already taken off the inducement, is heading lower. And this one here is our extreme order flow. So exactly right there. Okay, so it is the extreme order flow, and actually the only valid order flow in this case. So if I continue running price here, you can clearly see that price, okay, so price failed that. Below here, I don't see any valid order block actually. So maybe if I get to see a second leg created after price has made it to the 78, okay, so price has made it there. So anywhere here, if I see a second leg, I might consider taking that entry. So, okay, so anywhere here, if price makes that second leg here, I will consider taking that entry. So this here will make our, I will not call it the extreme bullish order block, but I'll just call it the discount zone. The most probability one. So we can clearly see that the second leg failed exactly right here. This here was the second leg. So placing the stop loss below here and targeting that high, in that case, you can clearly see it failed. And let's see how price will play out. Okay, so price eventually, as you can clearly see, it made a change of character. So this is where now I wanted to get at. So let me get rid of all these ones and as well that one. So you can clearly see exactly right here, instead price made a change of character. So you can clearly see price made a change of character. So what does this mean? The buyers have now lost control and now the sellers are in control. So there we have a change of character, and price has mitigated this this order block down below here. But you all know this order block will not hold because price has, you can clearly see, made a change of character, and now of course you should be looking forward for POIs aligning with the prevailing trend. The prevailing trend in this case is bearish, and so the only order blocks or the POIs that will be respected are the POIs that are on this impulsive leg. Starting from the extreme, I get to see this okay, so I get to see this extreme bullish, extreme bearish order block. So there we have it, our extreme bearish order block. And as well, we can clearly see that this here is our inducement, because this is not a valid pullback. Okay, so this is not supposed to hold. So I'll just call this a weak order block or just a reaction zone. Yeah, and of course that's this is the inducement, minor inducement. This here is of course our engineering liquidity, as this here is not a valid pullback. Okay, so if I continue running price here, okay, so price has taken out the inducement. So if price has taken out the inducement, we can confirm this low. This one here is our minor inducement, meaning our high actually is our major inducement. Meaning this high is of course our major inducement. Okay, so exactly right here we have our extreme, and if I continue running price here, we can clearly see price headed higher and higher. Okay, so exactly right here, price has mitigated that extreme order block. We can clearly see that, and so that's where now I'm interested for that sell. So exactly right here, after seeing this scope, so that's there, the scope, and price has already mitigated that. So I take my entry exactly right here, and of course my stop loss above the high, and I'll be targeting this, this external liquidity as my TP1. This, this inducement sweep of the higher time frame as my TP2. So this one here as my TP2, and of course my final TP, this higher time frame, I mean a few pips before the higher time frame decisional order block, or I mean decisional order flow, of which it is actually our valid reversal area, our next valid reversal area. And so this here will be my final TP, or my TP3. So you can clearly see this gives me a 1:6. And by the way, this is the setup that I was talking about, one of my A+ counter trend setups. And if I continue running price, we can clearly see that is the second leg. So price created the second leg, so probably I would have taken the entry from there. But anyway, we can clearly see exactly right there. So we can clearly see price has made it to the first TP exactly right there. If I continue running price, okay, so price has made it to the second TP and ultimately the third TP. And we can clearly see right now price has mitigated the higher time frame decisional order block, and that's where now we are anticipating for the next pro trend reversal. So that was the trade, guys. And actually the logic behind this trade is that the inducement sweep failed. And how do you know the inducement sweep failed? We can clearly see price has taken out the engineering liquidity exactly right there and made a break of structure here. So buyers are in control in that case. So we were looking forward to take an entry from this area. Of course, we can clearly see it got stopped out. Price made a change of character, and this says that now the sellers are in control. And as well, this means that price is looking forward for more sell-side liquidity, probably mitigate the next reversal area, of which it is probably the recessional POI, before making that ultimate reversal all the way again till this higher time frame external liquidity. And that's actually the logic behind this trade. And that's it for today, guys. If you're new to True SMC, consider checking the ebook in the description of this video. And of course, as usual, if you have learned something, do me a favor, drop a like. And of course, I'll be happy seeing you in the next video. Peace.